sexual tension, one-upmanship, and the struggle to see who comes out on top on Jane Hawtin Live, TV couples in a power play.
Stand by, Canada. Now you can talk to the newsmakers and have your say. This is Jane Hawtin Live.
But first, we're going to face off with a couple who are always at odds on the show.
Hey, I've come up with a new draft that I think we can both live with.
Parker, this is not a good time.
What do you mean, not a good time?
I mean, I have other things to do. I've got the whole of McCardle Steel Industries to worry about, for instance.
Yeah, whatever. Look, I have worked on this thing all day, so the least you could do is just take a look at it.
Nope.
Come on, just take a little look for me. Come on.
All right.
Here it is. Huh? Right in the...
Satisfied?
Yeah, all right. Rebut.
Beg your pardon?
Rebut, rebut, rebut. Come back at me.
Parker, we are miles apart on this. What you are being offered is the job of a general manager of the Hamilton Steelheads hockey team.
Yeah?
It's a lunch bucket team in a lunch bucket town.
Yeah, maybe that is what it used to be. Now it could be the most exciting sports franchise in North America.
Right, because you're here.
Joining us now are Michael Riley, who plays Brett Parker, the slick general manager of the Hamilton Steelheads, and Kari Matchett, who plays Colleen Blessed, the boss who drives him crazy. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Gee, you must have a blast playing these characters.
It's great.
Do you really hate each other?
I hate Michael.
Absolutely.
He's awful. Terrible person.
Yeah.
So tell us more of sort of the background of your characters, because, I mean, as a woman, you're a pretty young babe to be the head of this hockey team.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a woman who's a president in all of the NHL, which is what we're basically representing. And it's actually a thrill to be a woman in this kind of a position. I mean, this is the stuff you think about when you're a little girl and you think, I want to be an actress and I want to wear beautiful clothes and I want to have power. You know, I mean, that's an incredible thing to play with and to be working with Michael and Gordon, and it's a great thing.
And I bet it was your dream to grow up and play a character who has to work
who
for a
has to,
woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you dreamed of as a boy, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's neat. I think they're kind of two sides of the same coin, you know, kind of male, female versions of the same beast, you know, and they had their pasts were quite similar as they come to understand in the first season. They have some, you know, issues from their childhood that were similar. So, and although they don't speak about that, I think that kind of precedes them into every scene, so that kind of, you know, badinage that they have with each other, I think, is all fueled with that stuff underneath. You know?
Now, the funny part is, though, that, Michael, you don't know a heck of a lot about hockey.
This was going to come out.
You don't, do you? I mean, you didn't play hockey as a child. I don't know if you're, like, secretly not Canadian or what the deal is here, but...
No,
but fess up, you don't know.
It was a you know, a necessary backdrop of growing up here for sure. But I didn't. It wasn't a sport that I kind of got into. So I had a kind of a crash course. Luckily, the playoffs were going on when I was getting ready. So I think, you know, I had lots of friends who, if I supplied the beer and pizza, they would, you know, sit me down in front of the playoffs, and I would, you know, they would tell me everything I wanted to know about the game.
So what other kind of prep work did you do? Because I know that you talked to a pal of ours, Gordon Kirk.
Yeah, Gordy. I sat with Gordon, who's a lawyer, represents Eric Lindros, and so there was two sides. I guess for me, Brett was kind of composed of two elements. There was all that stuff, the business side of who he was. I met with Donnie Meehan, who's a sports agent, just to figure out, you know, what they do all day. Right. Because it's interesting, because we get into these scenes in the office, and basically it's a scene going on, but what are we doing? Like, who's getting the paper from where, and what is the actual business machinations of the day? And so just those kind of questions they were very helpful with. And then just building the actual guy, you know, the interior of the guy. And he's pretty, because he has to sustain for a long time, he's not very well. So,
so who's he modeled on, this sleazy general manager?
No one. I wouldn't say. You know, maybe a compilation of.
Oh, sure.
No, okay.
I think we can find a few people.
All right, I got
If you knew more about hockey.
Okay.
Did that matter? No.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that ever matters. I mean, there's like a little pastiche. You can glean information from different areas, but ultimately, it's, you know, Brett is, you know, a function of who he is and from scratch. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Kari, you on the other hand came from a very small town, like a 500-person small town, Spalding, Saskatchewan. But so you knew from hockey, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Okay,
Well,
neither of you knew anything about hockey.
You know, I knew it sort of in my pores and in my bones, but I didn't know the rules, and I didn't know, you know, why they went on and off the ice so much.
And the blue line and all that
yeah,
stuff,
you know,
right?
that kind of stuff. So I had to figure that out, you know, and my husband was very helpful in doing that. But, you know, growing up in a small town, I mean, skating, and the ice rink is the biggest fixture besides the grain elevator in the town. So, you know, I would go and watch the hockey games, and I skated since I could walk, and so it was a very natural thing to learn about. And interesting, you know, it was sort of about time that I got to know the reasons behind the hockey. So,
and I think that's the thing, is not so much the actual playing of the game. Like I say, it was a backdrop of growing up, and I think, like in the show, it's not a show about hockey, it's a show set in hockey. So just the whole romance of the game. And, you know, I remember one of our producers, the exec producers, Bill Lauren, had this great line about, you know, growing up and being able to stay up and wrapped in a blanket and watch the third period as a kid, you know, and just these kind of, you know, those Ken Dryden kind of home game, that warm kind of, it is a mythical kind of underpinning of the country, for sure.
yeah,
and,
it's poetry for many people, you know, for men for years, and now even women are starting to play hockey, which I think is great. I mean, I wish that I had. It wasn't really the thing to do when I was growing up, but now it is. No, you know, figure skating was the thing that girls did, but now it is, you know, and there's a real poetry to that game.
You know what I love about the show? I love how Canadian it is. You know, I mean, we've had so many years of, you know, Toronto and Vancouver being disguised as various, you know, Seattle or New York or whatever. Man, this is Hamilton.
Yeah, we go to Hamilton to film it too, you know.
Yeah.
So tell me about that and the decision behind doing that, having that kind of attitude.
Well, I think that, as you say, we've always kind of disguised the Canadian cities and as you know, some metropolis. Maybe it's set in Toronto, but it's not really talked about, so it could be anywhere. And this is definitely, you know, Hamilton is a character in the piece. It's Hamilton, Ontario. Like Bill was saying, it's like, I guess you'd call it a destination piece, like Hawaii Five-0 was a show where every week they took you to Hawaii, and this is a show where every week they take you to Hamilton, Ontario. You know, and I think it's a great idea, and it is like a character.
And therefore to Canada.
Right.
You know?
All right, well, let's have a look at what we're talking about here. Gordon Pinsent, who plays the owner, and I guess you're like a surrogate daughter to him, is that the deal here?
Yeah, exactly. When Colleen, my character, was 15, her father died, and Gordon, sort of, Duff, took over taking care of me and putting me in leadership camps, and he sent me to university, and then, of course, I was a brilliant student.
Of course you were.
And I became the president of the...
So he brought you back to be president of the team.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's his team and he can do whatever the hell he wants.
And
right?
I'm so smart.
This is Gordon Pinsent as Duff showing Brett's girlfriend around Hamilton.
The old Milky Way ballroom. I'd get off shift at 11:30, race over here on the Saturday night, my face still black from the burn-off. Those girls would stare at me like it was from the moon.
But there's nothing here except a parking lot.
You noticed that too, did you? Yeah, they tore down the old Milky Way.
And so what's reaction been from people to how Canadian this is?
You know, I mean...
No reaction at all.
No, there's been tons of reaction.
Yeah.
People, my family, you know, and it's not just because I'm in it, but people love it. And, you know, people on the street stop and tell me how much they love it, and how important it is that there's finally a show in Canada that represents hockey.
Yeah.
And does represent Canada, as we were saying before. I think it's really important to Canadian viewers to see, you know, images and likenesses
What is that?
of
Does that mean
themselves.
we're maturing, that we can actually, you know, beyond King of Kensington, have you know, a show that's actually shows Canada, talks about Canada? I mean, we've had it with This Hour Has 22 Minutes and those on comedy and that kind of thing, but to have a drama this way?
Right. No, I do think it's important. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, let's talk about your character and the... That's okay. You can think about it more. Very humble pie of you. Okay, we want to establish the character a little more about how sleazy he is. You want to set up this clip for us because there has been you need to tell the story. There's been a fight. The Steelheads have been in a fight in a bar, and you've got a bad situation that you need to fix.
Oh, that's right. One of my players has broken his hand in a fight with the cops in a bar. And so I get one of my other players to break his hand in a practice that the press is attending so that they'll see that it happened actually on the ice and not in the bar.
Well, we're pretending it happened
Yeah,
on the ice. This is
exactly.
from Power Play.
Yeah.
My hand!
He's hurt.
Yeah, that looks like it's broken.
That's too bad. Careful! Watch out!
That was way to go, big guy.
I don't feel too good about this, Mr. Parker.
Listen to the kid yell. Wow, he's really yelling. Ah, my arm! Ah! Hey, Todd, what hand did you slash him on?
On his left one.
Well, Joey's right-handed, isn't he? He would have hit the cop with his right hand. You broke the wrong hand.
Is that character named Ty?
Day in the life. Right, no.
That's what it sounded like. So in developing the storylines, do you guys have anything to do with that, or is it like magic for you when you see the scripts?
It's magic. Little elves bring the scripts, and we just kind of like...
Little angels descend from
Angels.
above and place them down. The writers are great on this show. I mean, the stuff that comes out of them is incredible, you know. Every once in a while, I will bring up something that I think wasn't addressed or, you know, doesn't make sense to me, and they've always, all of them, been very open to listening to that. But for the most part, the scripts were all great and very intact.
It's a real dream scenario that way, you know. As an actor, you get into a series, and, you know, I was a little gun-shy of just getting into a series just because of it's a long time, one character, you know, and to keep him, you want a character that's interesting, you want great writers, you want people you're going to work with that, you know, there's no animosity, and this, like, right down the list all the way through, it really is kind of a dream job that way. If you're going to spend 17, 18 hours a day with people over the long run, and you want the material to be good, and the work situation to be good, and creatively it to be great, and it fulfills all that stuff, so I feel really lucky.
We'll take a break, and we'll talk about the steam, shall we?
The steam.
Up next, we'll find out why this couple is practically melting the ice on Power Play. We'll be right back.
Damn it! Come on, Parker. Relax. Haven't you ever fantasized about being stuck in an elevator with a sultry blonde?
No. As a matter of fact, I have not, no. And sultry, that's pushing it.
Ouch. So what do you fantasize about?
I don't know. Come on. I don't want to talk about that, all right?
Well, we have to do something to pass the time.
No, we don't. We could get out of here whenever we wanted to.
No, we couldn't, because that would mean that you and I would have to cooperate. And we don't cooperate, Parker, we compete. So
This is Jane Hawtin Live on WTN.
I talked. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Come on.
okay.
Okay. Oh, thank you. All right, you're gonna take your shoe off, actually. It's gonna be easier.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Put your foot up here. Right up. Put your hands on my shoulders. Okay?
Mm-hmm. You do think I'm sultry, don't you?
Yeah, a little.
Only a little?
Could you please get up there now? Okay?
Okay.
All right, on three.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go.
Oh.
Got it. Are you up there?
Yeah.
Please turn it.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's when things started heating up on Power Play. Our guests are Michael Riley, who plays Brett Parker, and Kari Matchett, who is the boss of the Hamilton Steelheads. Now, this must take me through the progression. I mean, does this right from the beginning, these two characters have the hots for each other, or what?
Let's see.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly, see?
Typical. So typical. Yeah, I think that Colleen has a pretty strong sense that she's attracted to him, but won't go there.
Right.
You know, admits it, knows it, won't go there. Doesn't want to go there. She knows that what kind of a person he is, and she just doesn't want to put herself there.
And I think Brett denies everything, even to himself.
Right.
I think he knows he's attracted. Sure, she's an attractive girl, but you know, all that stuff is kind of subliminal, and to be intimate with anyone would mean a kind of psychological death to him. So I think he kind of just, you know.
So this is like a moonlighting thing, right?
Yeah, there's that energy there for sure.
Of these two strong characters who hate each other, but
Right. Like they
But
say
still.
in the clip, they don't cooperate, they compete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But things progress through the season with
certainly do.
this
Yeah, we were trying to,
particular couple.
it's so weird to be so far away from it in a way, to think back on it. But yeah, we start at the beginning where we're on the same side, basically. 'Cause
Yeah, in
we're
the very
trying to
first episode.
we're trying to sell the team to Houston. We both
So you're
are on
both
the
just
same
going to get
side,
out
yeah.
of this. It's a
Yeah,
money thing.
it's a
Yeah,
money
yeah,
thing.
we've
It's
made a deal and we're
this
gonna-
deal, yeah. And then something happens with Brett. There's a pull back into the Hamilton and the hockey, and he's kind of emotionally pulled back to the town, and then that puts him on the other side of the fence, where now there's, now he's going to stay and become GM, and that puts them at odds. So
yeah,
then,
that
then the
ruins the
sparks
plan,
fly.
so it's all over
Right.
in terms of Colleen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then,
And then just throughout, I think the rest of the episodes, there's sort of slight comings together and then pulling apart.
And
You
what's
know, like
interest- yeah.
there's almost glimpses of humanity with Brett's character, and Colleen almost wants to go there,
true.
and then he does something that's just awful. And I think there's even a time or two where you approach Colleen.
Yeah, they're always like, they've never kind of arrived at the same place, except at the very, very end, where they're both, the door is open on both times.
Yeah, there's a lot of hits and
You know,
misses, you know.
she'll come and she'll, Colleen will come and say that she is attracted to Brett, and he'll be like, no, that's not, and then by the time he thinks about that for a few days and goes back and wants
too
that to
late.
be open
Yeah,
again,
right,
it's
yeah.
too late. So
Right.
That's a line
it kinda
from the
works like
show,
that.
too.
there you go. But this is what happens in the last episode.
Elevator's here.
I know.
So that is so long.
Arrivederci.
Oh my God!
Great scene. What are you going to do next season, though? Wasn't it Moonlighting where it killed didn't it kill that show when the two of them went to bed together?
There's so much more
That
to
show
go.
was killed by that. This is a risky thing
That's not the
happened.
only dramatic tension on the show. They're gonna like in the first 13. There's gonna be like just circles within circles of them coming back and forth. I'm sure.
This is not the beginning of a great relationship in terms of romance and traveling together and
Yeah,
things like that. I think it's the beginning of another series of.
So we're not going to get happily married and have
No,
babies
I mean,
or anything
that's
like
the thing
that.
about series two is that,
Don't
as
think
soon as Brett is well enough to have a relationship like that, then the series is over. Then then you're not. There's nowhere to go. I gotta keep him as self-blind and as
jerky.
dysfunctional as possible. Yeah, for as long as possible.
So what's this experience been like for you working on a series? Because, I mean, you're well known for the other kinds of work that you've done with the Geminis and the Genie nominations, and this is
Yeah.
a little different for you to be in this.
It is, and I think that's the thing, the metabolism about a series, is you do have to kind of, put on the blinders and, just deal with one guy for that long. So the prerequisite when you're working on it and choosing the material, and that's what was so great about this writing, of course, is that the necessity is that it has to be multifaceted. It has to be something that I can wake up every morning and keep interesting, and for me as well as for an audience, And he is a character like that. There's just so many territories to go with him, so that was important to me. But it is a strange thing to just to stay inside one thing. I think it would be therapy for me to play another character, at least in the hiatus, like one other thing to jump out and play.
And will you have time to do that? I mean, with the with the accolades for Win Again and stuff like that, you wouldn't want to be having to turn down opportunities like that.
No, and you get to the end of like 13 episodes. It is quite a workload. You get to the end of that, and you do kind of want to just shut down for a little while, for sure. But I couldn't ask for a better opportunity. If you're going to do a series, and like I say, I was a little gun shy of it, this would be the one. And so.
Right.
I'm really happy about that.
Now, what about you, Kari? Because people should know that you're playing older than you actually are. You're only in your 20s, right? And you've had...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're an old guy compared to her. It's that Michael Douglas
Remember
thing.
that, Michael?
But, I mean, with your background in Moscow theater and all of this, I mean, this has got to be... Is this where you plan to go, or...?
Well, I didn't say when I'm this, you know, in my 20s, I want to be the president of a hockey team, and I'm playing on TV. But it was a great gift to get. I was thrilled. It is, you know, it's funny actually. I was sitting with a friend in a restaurant the day I got the call to audition for Colleen.
Right.
And she said, "What do you want to happen next in your career?" And I said, "You know, I guess I want to be the lead in the series. That's what I want. I want that experience. I want that time to work with one character. I want that." And then I got a call. Bill Lauren called my agent that day. And we clinked our glasses to that, yeah. And her name was Colleen.
Well,
Wow.
So I believe
Synchronicity.
yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
And the interesting part was that you originally auditioned for the part of Brett's girlfriend. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And
yeah.
so you ended up getting, I gather they had to rewrite the character for you because the character was supposed to be an older woman.
Mm-hmm. They'd originally written it for a woman who was 10 years older than myself, and so they changed the backstory and made it more suited to me, and then, you know, made it seem as, and sort of aged me up a bit to early 30s, and presto.
And how are you liking Stardom?
Oh, well. Stardom.
It's Canada, remember.
Well, I know, but you still get recognized already, right?
Yeah, that's happened. It's great, you know. It's an amazing thing to know that people are seeing the show and that it's reaching people. It's an incredible feeling.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
you.
And I'm glad the show's been renewed, and we'll look for it in reruns.
Great.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Michael Riley and Kari Matchett of Power Play.